Lección 33. Hace más tiempo. Do you know how to say ago in Spanish? That's hace. And although this word normally means it makes, when it is used together with a specific time, it now means time ago. For example, hace una hora. It means 1 hour ago. Hace 2 meses. 2 months ago. You can see that unlike English, where ago is placed after the time, in Spanish, hace must be placed before the time. So how would you say 5 years ago? Hace 5 años. How would you say 5 minutes ago? Hace 5 minutos. 2 weeks ago. Hace 2 semanas. A long time ago. Say literally, much time ago. Hace mucho tiempo. So, if someone asks you, ¿cuándo comenzaste a aprender español? When did you begin learning Spanish? How would you say 7 weeks ago? Hace 7 semanas. ¿Cuándo comenzaste tu trabajo actual? Actual means current. When did you begin your current job? How do you say 2 years ago? Hace 2 años. Another way to use the expression hace is together with the preposition desde hace. And we're actually going to use hace for short actions and desde hace to describe continuous actions. For example, comencé a aprender español hace 7 semanas. I began learning Spanish 7 weeks ago. Comencé, I began, is a short action, only one point in time. That's why we use hace. But if we wanted to express the same idea as a continuous action, we could say aprendo español desde hace 7 semanas. Remember, desde hace means since ago. I learned Spanish since 7 weeks ago. This is usually expressed in English as I have been learning Spanish for 7 weeks, a continuous action. Let's see another example. Me mudé a México hace 2 años. Me mudé is a reflexive verb and it means to move. Basically, I moved myself to Mexico 2 years ago. Again, we're using a short action to move houses. It's only one point in time. But if we wanted to express the same idea as a continuous action, we could say vivo en México desde hace 2 años. I live in Mexico since 2 years ago. Usually expressed in English as I have been living in Mexico for 2 years. Let's visually analyze the difference between hace and desde hace. For that, we're gonna have a timeline. Left is the past and right is the future, and this line represents now. So, if we wanted to talk about a short action in the past, we're gonna have hace in our sentence. Comencé a aprender español hace 7 semanas. Comencé is the short action, only one point in time. Or we could also express this same idea as a continuous action. Aprendo español desde hace 7 semanas. We use desde hace, and we also use the present tense, aprendo, because it is a continuous present action. Let's see another short action. For example, conocí a Daniel hace un mes. Conocí means I met. I met for the first time Daniel 1 month ago. It is only one short action in time. Or we could express the same idea as a continuous action. For example, conozco a Daniel desde hace un mes. Conozco means I know or I'm acquainted with. And we're using this verb in the present tense because it is a continuous and present action. I'm acquainted with Daniel since 1 month ago. Ejercicio. Rephrase the following sentences to express a long action with desde hace. So, comencé a aprender español hace 7 semanas can also be said as aprendo español desde hace 7 semanas. Ana comenzó a vivir en Madrid hace 2 años. Can also be expressed as Ana vive en Madrid desde hace 2 años. Trabajo en esta compañía desde hace 2 años. I've been working in this company for 2 years. How do you say I began working at this company 2 years ago? Comencé a trabajar en esta compañía hace 3 años. Voy al gimnasio desde hace un mes. I've been going to the gym for 1 month. How do you say I began going to the gym 1 month ago? Comencé a ir al gimnasio hace un mes. As you can see, in many situations there are 2 forms to express the same idea, and actually, with continuous actions, the desde hace form is more commonly used. However, there are many actions in the past that are not continuous. For example, viajé a Chile hace un año. It is something that happened in the past, but it's not continuing up until this moment. So saying something like viajé a Chile desde hace un año wouldn't be the best phrase to use. Or vi esa película hace 2 años. I saw that movie 2 years ago. Again, it's an action in the past that is not continuous up until this moment. So saying something like vi esa película desde hace 2 años wouldn't be the best phrase to use. We can also use the hace or desde hace form to ask questions about the past. For example, ¿cuándo comenzaste a ir al gimnasio? Comencé a ir al gimnasio hace un mes. This is a very simple form, a straightforward question about a specific point in time. ¿Cuándo comenzaste? And we can also express the same idea or the same question as a continuous action. We can ask, ¿desde hace cuánto tiempo vas al gimnasio? This literally means, since. It makes how much time do you go to the gym? But it's normally translated to English as, for how long have you been going to the gym? You can clearly see that the English phrase has a more complex verb tense. Have you been going? But in the Spanish version, the simple present is enough. Vas. And you could answer this question with, voy al gimnasio desde hace un mes. So, let's use the form desde hace cuánto tiempo in the next exercise. Remember, this is going to mean for how long have you been doing something. How would you ask? For how long have you been learning Spanish? ¿Desde hace cuánto tiempo aprendes español? How would you ask? For how long have you been living in the United States? ¿Desde hace cuánto tiempo vives en Estados Unidos? Remember, we're using the simple present tense here. Vives, you live, and not have you been living. Now, using the verb enseñar to say to teach, how would you ask, for how long have you been teaching Spanish? ¿Desde hace cuánto tiempo enseñas español? Ejercicio. Ask the following questions in Spanish. Where are you from? ¿De dónde eres? And she says, soy de Inglaterra, pero vivo en México. How would you ask, really? For how long have you been living in Mexico? ¿En serio? ¿Desde hace cuánto tiempo vives en México? And she says, desde hace 6 meses. Lesson finished. Now you're ready to meet your tutor on Skype at the scheduled time.